A missing Utah girl, age 13, was found in the back of a semi-truck in Wyoming last week. The driver, 25-year-old Chris Evans, may be charged with kidnapping and harboring a runaway. Evans had been communicating with the young girl through the Metaverse on an Oculus Quest 2 virtual reality headset. Hey everybody, welcome to True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. I'm Christy Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey Katie.
Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going good. It's
Well,
going good.
glad to hear it.
I spent last week in Tucson, and we ate so much amazing Mexican food. So much amazing Mexican food
Oh,
that
yeah.
we came home and had to try and replicate it. So we suck, but
Didn't quite get there, huh?
my gorditas did not puff like their gorditas, but they were still pretty good. But yeah,
Ah.
that's how we roll around here. You eat something amazing, you have to come home and figure out how to cook it. So back to the drawing board. They were good, but nothing like what we had.
If anyone listening has a good gordita recipe,
Yeah.
hit
And
us
don't
up.
send me to Taco Bell because that's not even the same thing. Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing well also. Y'all probably remember I talked about it last week that Rhonda had her surgery. She had her gallbladder out, and
Yeah.
things are pretty much back to normal. She went back to work, and she's
Good.
feeling pretty good, and we're back in our normal routine, which feels awesome. It's nice.
Nice.
When stuff like that happens, it sort of throws your whole household upside down, and
Yeah.
it's nice to be back to I like routine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really good.
Well, wonderful. Good
Yeah.
news.
Well, this is our Tuesday episode, and we do have a couple of segments as well as our main case today.
Yeah.
So, Katie, I think I'm going to kick it right on over to you for what I hear is a Florida man.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
Oh, Florida man. Nobody likes it when you purchase something and you get home with something other than what you thought you were buying. You know,
True.
this happens sometimes at drive-throughs and, Amazon, whatever. You buy something and it's not quite what you think you have purchased. And this happened in Florida recently, and it was very upsetting for this gentleman. Uh, and so he called the police. His name is Thomas Colucci, and Thomas was in a bar, and he purchased from another person in the bar what he was told to be meth.
Oh.
And he got home with that meth, and it just didn't seem right. He broke it apart, he smelled it, he kind of tasted it. Not so sure this is meth. Might be bath salts. Don't want to do bath salts because that's not safe.
As opposed to.
So
Yeah, okay.
Thomas did what any smarty pants would do, and he called 911.
What? No, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the Genius Award show, I can tell.
Mm-hmm. He had a couple of concerns. He wanted to make sure what he had was real, and he also wanted the person who sold what he thought might be fake meth. He wanted them to be in trouble. That's not cool, okay? Yeah.
There's a lot of regulation of drug dealers these days. I'm sure the FDA will hear of this.
Yes. so, yes, he asked for a dispatcher to please come to test the methamphetamine he purchased. So they sent someone. And he told him, that he'd bought it at a bar. He said he's an experienced drug user and he knows what it should feel like. And this isn't quite right. So he gave them 2 small baggies with white crystal like substances inside. and asked that they please test these. Well, guess what? Thomas was wrong. It really was meth.
Did they return it to him?
Unfortunately, no, they arrested him.
Oh, for hell's
Yeah.
sake.
So they posted on Facebook about this last Friday. He has been charged on the Hernando County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. They did arrest him. He's been charged with possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and he's being held on a $7,000 bond. So they did say, if you or someone you know have doubts about the authenticity of any illegal narcotic you have on hand or have obtained from another person, the Hernando County Sheriff's Office is pleased to provide this service free of charge.
Oh man, that's fantastic. That is
So
absolutely fantastic.
there you go. Florida man strikes again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to hand the mic back over to you for our main case.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I got to stop cackling because this next case is not funny.
No,
But that
no, it
was
is not.
hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, so there was a missing persons case in Utah last
Yeah.
week that very interesting situation. And definitely something that I wanted to highlight because this is really important. Um, this young girl's
Mhm.
name has been put out there into the public. I'm not going to use it because she is a victim of kidnapping.
And she's a
And
minor, isn't she?
she's 13.
Yeah.
So this is in Roosevelt, Utah. And this young girl went missing, 13 years old, disappeared, walked out of the house at like 5:30 in the evening and just did not come home. And this was, obviously super scary for her family.
Yeah.
She was found the next day in the trailer of a semi truck in Wyoming.
Mhm.
And the driver of the truck, his name is Chris Evans. He's 25. He's from Florida.
Mhm.
And what they discovered is that she had been communicating with him on an Oculus virtual reality headset in the
Wow.
Metaverse. So I wanted to talk about what that is and kind
Right.
of what
This
that means.
is new shit that parents really, really need to know about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the first time that this has happened. And so I felt like it was really important that we talk about it. They keep reporting that she's found in good health and whatever. Um, I'm sorry, she was kidnapped by an adult
Mhm.
and was not in the cab of that semi, but in
Right.
the trailer of that
That's
semi.
so sketchy and scary to me. I mean,
Yes,
that is so dangerous,
it is.
not to mention cold.
Yeah. And the details are all real sketchy, and she's 13, and so
Mhm.
they're not gonna release a lot.
Yeah.
But what they discovered is just before she left home, she got a message on her Oculus
Mhm.
from Monkey King Buddha. And the message was, "I'm waiting."
Mm.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about show you a picture of what the Oculus looks like. So I'm sure most of you have seen virtual reality headsets. This is what they look like. This is what an Oculus looks like. But so what's happened is that last year Facebook rebranded itself. The
Mhm.
company that owns Facebook rebranded itself as Meta.
Mhm.
And they have created something called the Metaverse, which is really a virtual reality platform that people can enter, and you enter it through a game, a virtual reality game, and there are several out there, and the expectation is there will be many more.
Mhm.
But the metaverse is a universe. It is a
Mhm.
virtual universe where people build worlds and, all of this stuff. Well, you can interact with people on a very
Mhm.
one, a very even more specific connection, but not knowing who they are. Like,
Yeah.
you can talk to people on there, but you don't know who you're talking to by
Right.
any means at all. And it can be anybody all over the world. People have avatars and usernames, and so you don't know who you're talking
Yeah.
to. You don't know the age of this person. You don't know anything.
Yeah.
And probably this young lady's parents didn't know this,
Mhm.
because the news stories, all of the news stories say almost exactly the same thing about this situation, and they
Mhm.
all say, the Oculus, which connects to Facebook.
Mhm.
No. No, 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 no.
Right.
No, it's way more way, way more than that.
Right.
So, the Oculus Quest 2 is a virtual reality headset, and I believe there's more than one virtual reality headset that can be used and go into the metaverse
Mhm.
through the various games.
Yeah.
But no, this is not just connecting to Facebook. This is connecting to a completely anonymous universe of other
Yeah.
users in which
Yeah.
people can, talk to each other and form relationships and those kinds of things with people that they do not know who they are at all.
No.
This
No.
is one more level of anonymity in, the virtual world that we
Mhm.
already spend quite a lot of time in. Um, but the risk to children is high. Obviously, the risk to children is very high. The
Oh,
fact that
yeah.
found this girl they found her very quickly through cell phone data, fortunately,
Mhm. Yeah.
but, oh my gosh, the potential that they wouldn't have found her
Yeah.
and that she could have been
Why the
killed.
hell was she in the back of a semi?
Why?
Why?
Why in the trailer?
Mhm.
Yeah, scary, scary stuff. And just to understand about what that means
Yeah.
to connect to this metaverse where people can represent themselves as anyone.
Mhm.
You build your own avatar, you name yourself. This guy's name was Monkey King Buddha, Buddha spelled incorrectly.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
he could have been anybody. But that message, "I'm waiting," is particularly sinister, I
Yep.
think. And, they're in the news, it's like, "Well, she ran away." No, she didn't.
She was
She was
kidnapped. She's
kidnapped by an
13.
adult. Yeah, she was lured out and kidnapped
Mhm.
by an adult.
Yeah.
The talk is that he can be charged with kidnapping and harboring a runaway. She is not a runaway when she is 13 years old, being picked up by a man. I'm so tired of this language being used
Mhm.
as though 13-year-old girls can make their own decisions for themselves and make safe choices
Right.
to be around adult men. Because no, they
Right.
can't, and we know
No.
they can't. So that's why I didn't use her name. She is a victim.
Mhm.
And, I really hope that, this has been a big heads up. I'm sure it has for her family and for, her access to
Mhm.
things like the metaverse and
Yeah.
using, and the Oculus, stuff like that. A lot of times parents don't really understand what their kids are doing. And this is one of those where I think this is a very scary. I think that the whole idea of the metaverse is a very scary thing for kids
Yeah.
because they don't understand how
Yeah.
dangerous that can be for them. So, I just wanted
No,
to
and
share that case.
it's yet another thing that if parents don't understand it, like if you there's a lot of ways to keep your kids safe on social media or at least try, right? But if
Mhm.
you don't have it yourself and understand it, your kids shouldn't have it.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. What are you thinking, giving your
Mhm.
kid access to this kind of, and I'm not going after these parents at all. This is just an in general. If you're gonna
Mhm.
give your kid that kind of technology, you should be using it. You should be,
Mhm.
in the metaverse with them, monitoring what they're
Mhm.
doing.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind and maybe just kids shouldn't be able to go in the metaverse? I mean,
Yeah.
really?
I think if I were to have younger teenagers at this point, I would just not allow it. This is
Mhm.
so scary. People think Snapchat and TikTok are scary worlds, and they are. This is worse.
This is much worse
This is
because it's so
much
anonymous.
worse. Mm-hmm.
It's so anonymous.
Yep.
And it's not
Wow.
hard to do, I looked it up. I knew what an Oculus was, so I looked it up,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked up how do you get connected to the metaverse. You need an Oculus, you need one of the
Mm-hmm.
games, and
Mm-hmm.
an internet connection. That's all you
Yep.
need. And so a 13-year-old kid is gonna figure that out in 10 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yep.
So it is something for us to really be aware of and be
Mm-hmm.
careful about because this is another tool for human traffickers.
Oh, 150,000%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Without a doubt. Oh boy. I'm blown away she got home. I'm so grateful that she did and for her family. But yeah. Oh,
I know. It's a miracle that she was found as quickly as she was and that she was found, at least relatively safe
mm-hmm. Yeah.
because
Wow.
he had taken her out of the state. I mean, that's
Yeah.
serious.
Mm-hmm.
That's really serious.
Mm-hmm.
That could be federal charges because he took her over state
Mm-hmm.
lines.
It should be.
So
Should
he's
be.
in deep trouble.
Well, I hope so. He should be. He should be. And they better be looking at his background to see if he's ever done this before.
Right. Who else is he talking to? The other thing that's interesting is before they found her, they had a different man's name as a suspect.
Get out.
No, and so I think this wasn't
Whoa.
the only person she was talking to.
Uh-huh. Mm. Well, it's something really, really for parents to be aware of and pay attention to, but for all of us too. Here's the thing: the thing that beyond all of this that gets to me about the whole metaverse thing is that people that are using stuff like this, excessively, are just ending up more depressed and
More
more unable
disconnected.
to function in their real life, and more disconnected. And I just think I'm not convinced this is a good thing in any way.
It's literally a tool for predators. I
Yeah, it
mean,
is.
it's a tool for predators, and how many times have we talked lately about that? And I'm not saying all truckers, I'm just saying that there is a high number
Mhm.
of people working as over-the-road truckers who are
Mhm.
pedophiles, who are involved in sex trafficking,
Mhm.
serial killers. It's
Mhm.
the kind of job that gives them the anonymity they need, and then
Mhm.
now they get this virtual anonymous universe
Mhm.
to go and entice their victims.
Yeah.
It's super scary.
Yeah. And yes, don't add us about it. We're not saying that all truckers are criminals, not in any way
No.
whatsoever.
It's
But
just
statistically, the FBI believes that at any given time there are a scary number of serial killers on the road in the form of truck
truckers.
drivers, the
It
semi
is
long haul
believed to
truck
be the
drivers.
most common job
Hmm.
for a serial killer
Yeah.
because a lot of the serial killers that have never been caught or that get caught
Hmm.
way down the road, they find
Yeah.
out, yeah, over the road truckers.
Hmm.
So they had no footprint in any particular place
Yep.
that would make them a suspect anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
scary stuff, but I thought, this is something we need
Yeah.
to talk about. This is a new way for human traffickers and pedophiles and serial killers to,
Yeah.
you know, get victims. So
Hmm.
just be really aware of
Yeah.
this potential and of if you've got kids, you need to really, really think about what they're doing in virtual reality
Yeah.
and recognize that metaverse just opens that up to literally anyone on the planet
Yeah.
to pretend to be anyone else. So
Yeah.
scary stuff.
Well, thank you for that. That's a really important report and something we all
Yeah.
need to be aware of.
And if more information comes out, I'll update it. There's not a ton,
Yeah.
but when I saw this, I just thought, "Ooh, we gotta talk about this because 'cause we're gonna see more of these,
Yes.
unfortunately."
Yep. This is where it begins. Yep.
Yeah, sadly. Okay, well, on hopefully a happier note or maybe at least funnier note, I don't know. We've got some WTF news, I think, coming our way from you.
Me too. Have you ever thought about or wondered how many snakes you could fit in your pants? I can't even say it with a straight face.
I can honestly say that I have never ever thought about or wondered that. No.
You don't know how many snakes you could fit in your pants. Well,
I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't even care to guess. No.
or lizards? No lizards either?
Definitely not.
No. Okay. Any of you? I just wonder. This is something you've thought about. Now I probably have your attention. Probably.
There's
Well,
that whole "are there more doors or windows in the world" question, but I've not heard the "how many snakes fit in your pants." Oh my god, look at that picture. Oh,
that's a lot of snakes. Yep.
why are they in lame bags?
They're in nice little lame bags, aren't they? Yeah.
They look like they're packaged jewelry.
No, right? They're packaged very sweetly. All right. And then there are these little spiny lizards.
Oh,
How many of those do you think you could fit in your pants?
good lord, I'm
Hypothetically
going
speaking.
with 0 on that.
Yeah, okay. Well, you may be alone in this because someone else thought that he could fit 52 of these in his pants.
Snakes
Yeah, and lizards. Not
and
just
lizards.
pants, though. Apparently, last week, a man was crossing at a border with Mexico and the U.S., coming from Mexico into the U.S.
Mhm.
He was driving a truck. He was pulled out for additional inspection, like people are occasionally, supposedly randomly. And when they inspected him, they discovered within his jacket, pants, pockets, and groin area were
Excuse me? Oh my gosh.
9 snakes and 43 horned lizards.
Good god.
Yeah.
That just brings a whole new meaning to the term trouser snake.
It really does.
I
It really
couldn't
does.
not go there. Holy hell.
Some of them are endangered species to Mexico, and so they were all seized and are being quarantined and cared for until they figure out what to do with the animals.
They need
Uh,
PTSD counseling
right?
after
He,
that experience.
he was charged with smuggling activities. He was 30 years old, U.S. citizen. Unfortunately, the illegal wildlife trade between South America and the U.S. is a real problem because
Yeah,
they are, gathering up animals like this in Mexico and then bringing them to the U.S. and some of them sell for a lot of money.
sure.
So it's very unfortunate for the animals. Many many years ago, when Scott and I were first married, we had a pet store.
Yeah.
And one day, some people came in with these little birds. They were parrots, like green parrots that are thousands of dollars a piece. But these were babies, and they were dead and dying. And they told
Oh.
us that their brother in law had smuggled them in from Mexico in a pipe up the side of his leg.
Oh,
And could we save them? No, we couldn't.
no.
We couldn't. I was heartbroken. It was so sad. It's a sad and scary thing that's
Yeah.
happening. As we
Oh,
know, people will do absolutely anything for money. But this was a new one for me. I mean, not smuggling animals in on their persons. Of course, like I told you, I'm used to that. I've seen that before, but 43 horned lizards and 9 snakes.
man, those lizards look pokey.
Right? I mean, take one more look at these guys.
And they were in his clothes?
Yeah,
And I would think they might get ticked off and bite you too.
right? Like,
I
what the
would if
hell? And then all of these snakes
wow.
in their fancy lame bags, all dressed up with nowhere to go.
Right. The packaging of the snakes really has me puzzled. Um, but wow. Well, I'm glad they caught him, so
Yeah.
they didn't come into the US, and those poor animals, gosh.
And I
I
looked
hope
up
that
multiple articles and they were pretty much all cookie cutters of each other, but I couldn't find any. Basically, what I was finding is that the animals were safe, which I hope is true that they were all okay because, God, that's
yeah,
awful.
it is awful.
But yeah, you're right. That does give a whole new meaning to the word trouser snake.
Yeah, I cannot unsee that, I think.
No, not now. Not ever. All righty. Well,
Well,
there you go. There's WTF news for today.
wow. And that is our Tuesday episode.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be back
Yeah.
on Wednesday with another episode, as well as case updates. That's our live stream at 7 p.m. Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And on Thursday night, we have the Psychic Hour, also at 7 p.m. Mountain, which is a live stream. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share. If you watch us on YouTube, you can find us on all podcast platforms. If you're listening to us on a podcast platform, you can find us on YouTube. Just so you know, we're everywhere. So if you ever want to, consume this show in a different way, you certainly can.
You
You
bet.
can always watch it, and you can also always go listen to it.
You bet.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for being here. You know it. We are True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. Thanks for being here.
Take care.